Well, hello there, and you join us here today to ignore the old adage, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because we are going to look at 20 of the best, we think, one watch collections that you can buy in 2023. If you found the perfect watch that you're looking to purchase, head on over to watchfinder.com. Tom, I think it always starts with good intentions. You buy one watch, it spirals out of control, you end up with many. But imagine a world where you could condense that into a single piece, regardless of budget. It's an interesting thought just having the one. Do you think it's realistic?
Yeah, this list, my list of watches here does very much depend on the idea that you can just stop at one. But some of the watches I've chosen are very extremely luxury, highly desirable pieces that if you were to give me, then I would stop collecting watches. If you just gave me that one, then I wouldn't need any more. And I've got several of those. So yeah.
Well, hopefully the powers that be are listening and they'll make your dream come true. In no particular order, dear viewer and listener, we have a bunch of different watches, 20 to be precise, of all different prices. So Tom, let's get into it. What is the first watch that you have chosen as your one watch collection?
This is the A. Lange & Söhne Odysseus in stainless steel. Now, for a one watch collection, I think you need a certain amount of versatility. And I think this is one of those watches that can do it all. It was something fans of A. Lange were kind of asking for, like a watch that you could take on holiday. This one's got a bit of more sporty flavour about it. It's got a nice cool stainless steel case and bracelet. The dial is bead blasted, textured. It's highly readable. You've got your big second subdial and your big day and date. It's blue, which is just a universal, that's the safe bet. If you're only going for one watch collection, get a blue one. For me, this is like a new pillar of A. Lange & Söhne. It just feels like a new flagship model for them. I just think it does everything.
I like that they didn't just get out the nearest octagon trace around it and go, ta-da, finished. They've got some of that integratedness in there, but the complication, they couldn't help themselves, could they? With the crown guards activating the quick set on those complications too, 120 meters of water resistance. I mean, it is price upon request. This isn't a cheap watch, so if you're going to make it your only watch, you still need to be fairly well of cash. Yeah. But if you can... Now, dear viewer and listener, Tom and I have both had the pleasure of trying this watch on. Some people have said in pictures it doesn't look right. In person, it wears incredibly well. Even the bracelet, which in pictures looks a bit odd up against the lugs, it all comes together really well. Tom, in a similar vein, I was thinking about what would an only watch be for the kind of person who does have quite a bit of cash to splash. Maybe they've sold a few Rolexes, Pateks, and they want to consolidate that all into one watch for around £60,000 to £70,000. And I was thinking, okay, maybe they wouldn't be able to take this watch swimming. So it's not for every purpose, but it combines some of the modern and best of contemporary watchmaking with classical watchmaking as well, the real technical details and the art of finishing. And I couldn't think of a better watch than the Legacy Machine 101 from MBNF. It's quite a simple watch as it comes to complication. A time-only piece, but it has that suspended balance wheel over the dial and the big curved crystal, which is just so unlike anything we've ever seen before. Also comes with loads of beautiful colours, and when you flip it over, there is a very, very classic looking, almost pocket watch style movement with the best finishing that you can imagine. This, for me, this is probably my personal that's it watch. Everything else can go. Why would I wear anything else? If I'm going to be doing some gardening, I'll just take it off for a bit. I don't need to know the time.
Yeah, I mean, as MBNF's output goes, the Legacy machine branches, they're more watch-looking watches, isn't it?
Yes.
You have got the time there. That's clearly readable, if slightly offset to the corner there to make way for the big balance spring in the middle. But yeah, this is. I think it's totally wearable in most situations. Yeah, probably not the garden, but then yeah, if you're going to be hacking around in the wilderness, then yeah, probably just take it off.
Dear Max Booser, just in case you're wondering, I can be bought.
Yeah.
Tom, perhaps bringing that budget down ever so slightly, but still looking for a piece of watchmaking that has that pizzazz to make you come back to it time and time again. What have you got next?
Yeah, I feel like this is another one and done watch. For me, certainly. This is the Grand Seiko Spring Drive Snowflake. It just combines everything that is great about watchmaking and great about Grand Seiko, really. It's beautifully finished. You've got that amazing spring drive technology inside Grand Seiko's own proprietary mechanical quartz hybrid movement that gives you that beautiful sweep of the second hand that just impeccably glides over the best dial ever around in watchmaking since time telling began. The drifts of snow from some wondrous magical peak in Japan somewhere. This snow plane dial that just looks just light and fluffy and crunchy, like you could just step into this watch. It's beautiful. And the power reserve there just tells you how much juice you've got left in the watch, which is really, really, really useful and aesthetically pleasing. I've changed my tune. Sporty, elegant, everything that you would need from just a single watch.
Yeah, it is. As a daily wear, it covers off as many different possibilities as I can imagine. It's got 100 meters of water resistance. It's chunky but not too big at 41 millimeters across, 12 millimeters thick. It's in titanium, so it's lightweight and rugged as well. Some people might not like the lightweight, but if it's your only watch, it's quite nice to have one that feels comfortable at all times. And then shrouded behind the glass like a museum piece is that dial, which is just utterly beautiful. Tom, I'm actually going to kind of up the ante slightly on that. Let's say you are the kind of user that would love a Snowflake, but it's just not quite rugged enough for your lifestyle. Well, this is where the Mistflake Grand Seiko comes in. SBGE 285, a bit more cash, £7,650. Snowflake dial still, so you get that lovely texture, but with the added benefit of a GMT function. So if you're the traveling type and a daily watch for you, a one watch wear needs to be able to cater for more than one time zone, and you've got your heart set on the Snowflake, this is a very easy sidestep to make to really, really cram all those eggs into that one basket you got there.
Yeah, lovely, lovely. God, I really want a Snowflake dial. Just one taste of Snowflake and then I'll be done, I promise.
You've got a bit of Snowflake on you. Tom, but let's say you don't have that kind of money. Let's say you've only got £2,950 and you're looking for that one watch to spend it all on. What would it be?
Well, I would say, why not have a punt on Longines Record? It's a beautiful watch. You could see the design is somewhere between elegance and functionality. It's a chronograph, so you've got that chronograph scale railroading around the outside of the dial there, but it's also very elegant. You've got these gilt gold hands and markers on this matte black dial, so very elegant but also very kind of functional looking as well. It's sort of threading the needle between those two places, which is good. There's a universality to this appearance, both elegant and sporty and functional. It's kind of stepping on Patek Philippe's toes a little bit there. I think wearing this will make people say Patek who? Or Audemars what now?
If you have a hankering for the perfect 1930s, 40s throwback chronograph, this is it. And it doesn't feel like an affordable alternative. This is the brand that was making them in this style too.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful with the black and gold. Quite an unusual combination these days. Tom, there is a watch I think if you bought and wore, paid £5,600 for, you could be happy forever. It comes from the Omega stable. It is a Seamaster, but I don't think it's the Seamaster Professional. I would side with the Aquaterra in 41mm on a rubber strap. Now, not the one where they've taken away the teak deck dial in a bid to copy the Oyster Perpetual, but the one with those lovely stripes, the metallic sunbrush dial, the little pops of colour, and the very elegant rubber strap that also has a texture to it, so it feels like it might be a canvas strap. This is sporty, elegant, rugged, usable.
Yeah.
Everything into one package. You could do anything with it. James Bond doesn't need a Planet Ocean and a Seamaster Pro. Put this on, black tie, fine. Running around chasing bad guys, also fine.
Yeah, definitely. It's classical enough to wear on formal occasions, but fun enough for splashing around on holiday. I love the electric blue secondhand there, really lovely. Yeah, I'm glad that that Omega have decided to keep these floorboard dials in rotation because they are interesting.
Floorboard. It is good. It is odd that they have both, but I'm glad they haven't got rid of this one.
What would a watch company be without a muddy catalogue of different variations and styles all under the same name?
Speaking of which, Tom, a very concise catalogue, the Tudor Black Bay. Is that a choice you'd go for?
Yes, absolutely. But which Black Bay, I hear you ask? The GMT. And this is the newest model from this year, I believe, 2023.
Yeah.
This is the Pepsi bezel, the blue and red bezel with the opaline dial, which is just really, really fetching, I think. It gives this nice sort of milky shimmer sheen. It's not quite enamel. It's not quite ceramic. It's opaline. Oh, Pauline, everyone's friend, opaline. This is a really nice watch. 200 meters, GMT function, domed sapphire crystal, which is going to be really popping. All the fun of the fair for £3,590. It's just a whole lot of watch for not much money. And Tudor, I think, is quite a prestigious brand now. It's getting up there. Come on, it's as good as Rolex now. You've got to say that, haven't you? One watch, one and done. GMT, Pepsi.
It's definitely safe, but that's kind of the point when it comes to a one watch. You don't want to go out there wild, really, for your only watch. It has to have some semblance of normalcy. Otherwise, you'll go crazy. Tom, if you like your watches to not be quite so thick, but you want more of a sporty vibe, then Christopher Ward has got just the thing for you. In steel or titanium, this is the rather oddly named the 12. Why is it called the 12? Many reasons. Can't remember most of them. The main one is the bezel has 12 sides, which is an upgrade from 8, I think you'll find. A number of different pop-in colours. Starts at £850. Steel gets the Sellita SW200, titanium, which is a little bit pricier, gets the Sellita SW300, which is a little bit nicer, a little bit thinner. But overall, both watches are comfortably thin. On a rubber strap, a superb wear, easily swappable to the metal bracelet as well. As far as one and dones go, it's got the pop-in factor of contemporary watches, it's got the colour choice, it's got the sportiness, it's got the elegance to wear it under a cuff with the thinness, and it's also very affordable. You could be quite happy with just one of these.
It's almost a joke, isn't it, how good this watch is? It's so crisp. The lines, the edges, the polishing, the finishing is just amazing. The dial, I think, is just almost hypnotic. Every time I see it, I sort of fall into it a little bit more. It's like a voxel ocean. It's almost like, I don't know, there's like a world of Minecraft going on in there. I love it.
Vauxhall Ocean, 19,950 on the road, tax not included. Blue dials though, Tom. Any more blue dials you want to offer me as an only watch?
Yes. This is a one watch collection, dang it, so we've got to play it safe, but also good for every occasion. And that's going to mean sunburst blue, but also textured blue, because this dial has both of those things. It's swoon worthy, and you will be too if you try the JLC Polaris Automatic for £10,000. Now, again, this is on the steeper end, but if you do give me this watch, then I won't need another one again, I promise. It's 41 millimeters, 11 millimeters thick, so nice and svelte. 10 bars, which I think equals 100 M's. You've got luminescent dial, and again, that sunburst grain, and opaline again, so that milky blue sheen. This is a beautiful watch. Sporty elegance.
Spellegance.
That's right.
It really does everything. If you want a watch that's sporty, this does that with the water resistance and especially on the bracelet. You've got the timing bezel. But if you want a watch that's elegant and detailed, this JLC can't help themselves but make an elegant and detailed watch. Doesn't come any better than JLC. Tom, speaking of historical legacies,
were we?
Turn your mind back to 1735 and the birth of the oldest continually running watchmaker in the world. This is Blancpain. and the 50 fathoms. Now, the 50 fathoms comes in many different flavours, and some of them are quite big and perhaps not really a suitable daily wear. But if you are looking for something that is a little bit on the more comfortable side at 38mm, just under 11mm thick, I would turn your attention to the Bathyscaphe. This is an £8,900 watch, 300 metres of water resistance, with the caliber 1150 inside, stainless steel, a modern interpretation of that original 50 fathoms. It's got enough detail to look different to the status quo, the typical Submariner fare. It's got that pop of blue, but also it's not too gaudy and shouty that people are going to be like, oh look, he's got a fancy watch, get him. I think it's the perfect under the radar class. It's like driving a Mercedes S-Class, you know. It's luxurious, but nobody really pays a huge amount of attention to it.
It looks like old money, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's something, it's just got that subtlety, but it does exude a certain quality. I mean, it could be the really scripty font of 50 fathoms on the dial that's doing it. It's like, whoa, that looks expensive, that font.
And it answers the great question of the ages too. Bath? Why? Scap-he. So there you go.
Oh, they've messed this all up here. There's missing punctuation there, isn't it? But never mind.
Tom, from one diver to another, what you got?
I've gone for the wonderful Breitling Super Ocean Automatic 42, but other sizes are available. You can find one that's best for you. I just think this is a wonderful watch, and I think this is really epitomises that universality of a watch that can be worn in any situation. It does scream Surfer Squad, but it also says business as well, and it's that beautiful marriage of performance and style. It's very diver inspired. You've got big bezel and big broad hour hands and markers, but then it's very, very elegant and polished. You've got that ceramic inlay. You've got the hands and indices are very, very shiny and polished as well. I think it's a pinnacle of design and one of the front runners in Breitling's new revised catalogue. I really like it. I think it's just popping.
Yeah, it carries off a lot of what the very similar Rolexes do, but with an extra touch of shine, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm also made very much aware of the absence on Breitling's part of the business squad. Bit of a blind spot there. Tom, for a similar sort of vibe, but about half the money, I want to draw your attention to the Rado Captain Cook. This blends retro design with modern materials. You get a stainless steel case there in 42mm, but it is also fitted with a very scratch-resistant ceramic bezel. Rado, of course, I believe the first watch brand to use ceramic in their watches way back when. This is quite an underrated watch. People generally overlook it, but it's very well proportioned, really well styled, looks different from the crowd, doesn't feel like it blends in. On that beads of rice bracelet, some people might not like it, but I think has a real pop of vintageness to it as well. And for a little splash of fun there, Tom, the anchor on the Rado logo spins around.
Yeah, that is fun. For added fun, there's also seahorses and stars on the case back.
Oh, my favourite. Tom, we've been spending quite a bit of cash, and of course there are some people who want one watch and don't have quite that volume of monies, so let's bring it down a little bit for the next one.
Now, it may seem that we've been banging this drum a little bit too loudly recently, but I'm going to bang it again. This is the Citizen's Suosa Automatic. Suosa, which means why didn't we think of it before? Because this is a line of watches from Citizen that is just encompassing everything that you would need from a one-watch collection. It's a beautiful design. You've got a nice integrated case, lovely sharp edges. You've got sunburst dials in a range of funky colours. The crown is nicely recessed, so it preserves that beautiful case shape and symmetry. You've got a nice date window, and at £299, get a couple, and then that's the only one-watch collection you'll ever need.
You said the two-watch, one-watch collection because it's one model. Yeah. Does that count? Yeah, that sounds like a loophole, Tom.
But it's the same. It's the same watch, and so it doesn't matter. Yeah, that works.
Tom, I'm going to spend a little bit more because I'm not done with spending monies yet. If you are looking for a Swiss-made watch with a very well-established brand that's going to last the test of time, You want to put all of that together. Rugged, usable, everything. I'm going to point you towards the Tag Heuer Formula 1. Now, to some people it might feel like, oh, that's the first watch you buy and regret buying because you end up spending money on watches you prefer. It's a bit default. But it's default because it's so good. It is the watch that you can wear for everything. This really is set it and forget it, especially with a quartz movement. And at 41mm, it's just chunky enough to feel substantial, luxurious without being too big. It's that perfect balance.
I think default is a really interesting term there because I agree, but in the same respect that I would also just say that it's got a value, it's put a value in every box, hasn't it? Like brand recognition, history, sporty, elegant, performance. It ticks all the boxes, and for a great price as well. I love Tag. I think this is, I would be happy with this as a one watch collection for sure. Yeah, give me this, and then I won't need any more watches. I promise.
This is coming up a lot, Tom, and I feel like there's a certain irony to it. Okay, Tom, but I'm only going to give you £420 for your next one. What are you going to pick?
I will spend exactly that on a Seiko 5 Sports GMT SKX.
Convenient.
Yes. This is the GMT SKX Blueberry. The Seiko 5, I think, is a really safe choice for a one-watch collection, but I'm going to give you a little something extra, and that is another duotone bezel and GMT function. You need the duotone bezel when it comes to GMTs because you need to know whether it's night or day when you point the big red hand at the numbers. I think that's how it works. I don't know.
I'm pretty certain. Yeah.
Something like that. But this is just a really cool, chunky, sporty watch. Again, I think you can just use this for anything. If you roll into the boardroom wearing a Seiko 5 GMT, people are going to think, he's got places to be. I shan't waste his time. And that's really what you want your watch to be doing, as well as telling the time.
£420, pretty hard to beat. If you do have that kind of money, though, and you're thinking maybe perhaps you'd like a chronograph to be your only watch, then I would direct your attention to the Forzo G2 Drive King. And I mean, that's something we all want to be. I believe in Formula 1 they have the second place and the third place, and then the person who wins is known as the Drive King. And that's where this name has come from. In a really elegant sky blue, it has proper 60s appeal. But just for £449. Powered by the Seiko VK64 Mecha Quartz, which is how you get the functionality for the price. But if you're a bit of a Steve McQueen fan, if you hark back to the 1960s era of Le Mans racing, if you love a rev counter to be sat centre in amongst all the other dials in your car, this is the watch for you and could very well be your only watch.
I think these are really interesting watches. I think they've got so much going on, but they handle it so well. They're perfectly laid out, and there's nothing vying for your attention. It all just feels really coherent. You know, you've got that sort of powdery textured dial. You've got a tricolour subdial there, two subdials. You've got those blocky T-shaped markers with lume, a tachymeter scale, a bezel, but it's all really cohesive. I really like it. I think these are great watches. I think, I'd like to get my hands on one of these, and then maybe I won't need another watch after that.
This is sounding more and more desperate as we go. Tom, I'm going to slash your budget again to £150. Oh my goodness, you've only got £150. Let's face it, it's only going to buy you pretty much one watch anyway. But where would you spend it?
This is the Timex Legacy Day and Date 41mm stainless steel bracelet watch. So I think this is a fairly new release from Timex. Every now and then they just come out with something that just bang on the money. And this is just a very simple everyday watch in steel. You've got a nice round polished bezel. You've got a Jubilee-esque bracelet. You can't say Jubilee for copyright reasons.
The Jubilee bracelet, there you go.
Jubilee. Yeah, you've got a lovely Jubilee bracelet. And just a very nice, clean, clear, tidy, everyday sports watch. Stainless steel all round, quartz inside, 50 metres of water resistance. For £150, what more could you want? This is a very attractive watch that will serve you right for every occasion.
I'm going to give myself a little bit more budget for this one, Tom. I'm going to give myself something in the region of £300. Because this is a real treat, I think. This is the HMS 003 from Baltic. It's an evolution of a line that has existed from the beginning of the days of Baltic. It is 36.5mm across in stainless steel, 10mm thick minus the big sapphire domed crystal. You've got a Miyota 8315 in there with 60 hours of power reserve, 50 metres of water resistance, and just generally an aesthetic with the, in this case I've picked the silver one, the crosshair dial that is just never, ever going to get old. JLC have made them, Patek Philippe have made them. That crosshair dial is just broken into sectors, just something about it is absolutely timeless. There's a number of different colours available, but silver with blue on, with the blue strap, for me is the one to go for. Tom, you might find that your only watch collection needs to consist of just a digital watch. I think we're going to look at Casio, but which one's it going to be?
Yes, I've gone for the Casio G-Shock GMW B5000D1ER. You may know it as the Full Metal Silver. But if we're talking about a one-watch collection, we're going to need something that's going to stand the test of time. We're going to need something that's versatile, wearable, and I think the G-Shock does that. Especially in this range, the GMW collection, they're a bit smaller. I think this is about 43mm in diameter, but it's quite compact. And in the steel, it's a bit more versatile, I think. You might not want to arrive at a formal occasion in black acrylic, but I think the steel you'll be able to pull off any event there, and you also get the indestructibility that comes with a G-Shock, and this has got all the functions you could ever need.
Let's round this up, Tom, with one more watch. This is for someone who has £50 to spend. People who have £50 to spend are still people too, and they need a good timekeeper to keep them in good stead. I have chosen the Casio, it's probably a bit of a cliche at this point, Duro, the MD V161A. It is a stylish, affordable dive watch with 200 metres of water resistance, a stainless steel case in 44mm across with an aluminium bezel. Really, it gives you everything you could ever hope for from a vintage Submariner, but for £50, and made by Casio, so you know it will last all the way through to the end of time. Entropy ain't got nothing on this.
Timeless diver aesthetics with Casio dependability, Casio price. It will be still around, when it's just Raymirs, Bear Grylls, cockroaches, the dinosaurs that have come back, and Casio Duros.
Well, there you go. Those are our selection of 20 watches that could be your one watch collection. What's yours? Have you tried it? Have you miserably failed? Probably. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and check out Watchfinder to buy and sell your next watch at watchfinder.com.